Cyborg is the Mike Tyson.
Once she's inside the cage, a light switch turns on and it becomes the Cyborg, the machine. She's vicious.
Don't allow Chris to throw that blitz and get you against the cage.
Cris Cyborg, the 40-year-old legend with a 29-2 record and 21 knockouts, has officially called out Dakota Ditcheva again, and she's not backing down. We're talking about a quintuple champion, someone who's conquered Strikeforce, Invicta, UFC, Bellator, and PFL, going up against the undefeated rising star with a perfect 15-0 record.
Cologne in trouble. It's over now, surely. Yes, it is. Cologne can't continue. Cyborg folded her in half like origami, and she did it easily.
Bellator MMA live on Showtime from Hard Rock Live at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. The time has come for the main event of the evening. Five-minute rounds for the Bellator Featherweight World Championship. Sanctioned by the Florida Athletic Commission, Executive Director Patrick Cunningham at Cageside, Assistant Executive Director Tim Shipman. And now, first introducing the blue corner. At 5'7", weighing in 145 pounds even, with the capacity to become Bellator's first Irish World Champion, she enters with the professional record of 7-4, hailing from Dublin, Ireland, the challenger, Sinead Cahill Phenom. And across the cage, the champion fights out of the red corner. At 5'8", weighing in 145 pounds, one of MMA's all-time greatest tonight, making her third title defense. She stands with 24 professional victories, just 2 defeats from Curitiba, Brazil. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the defending Bellator Featherweight World Champion, Cris Cyborg.
This could be the biggest women's superfight in PFL history, but here's the million-dollar question. Is Cris Cyborg the fighter who will hand Dakota her first ever loss? So let me set the scene for you. December 2025, PFL Lyon, France. Cris Cyborg just finished Sarah Collins in the third round with a rear naked choke to defend her PFL featherweight title. And then, boom, she calls out Dakota Ditcheva for her retirement fight.
There, turns her back to Cyborg. Left hand, right hand, Cyborg, flubber in time, boom with the right hand.
Now here's where it gets interesting. Dakota initially wasn't having it. She went on Ariel Helwani's show and basically said, "Look, I'm honored, but this doesn't make sense. I'm a flyweight 125 pounds. She's a featherweight 145 pounds. That's a 20-pound difference."
But the next one for me, so I would like to fight Leah McCourt. She was the champion of the Bellator, but if she not be available, I can go make some weight cut, something, meeting in the middle with Dakota. She's beating everybody her division, 135, or we think about what we're going to do, but I believe it's going to be good.
Alors, il y a eu pas mal d'éléments différents ici. Chris nous explique et témoigne de toute la préparation méticuleuse qui a été mise en place. Elle remercie l'intégralité de son staff, ses hommes de coin, tous ceux qui ont participé.
And Dakota had a point. She said, quote, "Respectfully, she's not giving up the fight. I am. I'd be the one who sells that fight more. She needs Imi."
There I am watching PFL Lyon. Cris Cyborg wins. She gets on the microphone and she calls you out. She calls you out, and that would be...
Who doesn't call me out these days? When is my name not being spoken? Come on.
Oh, who else is calling you out?
Oh, you get all the girls in my division like after me all the time, or they're either after me or they're complaining because I'm getting all the attention. So it feel like, do you know what? Cyborg moment was crazy for me. I was actually really happy about it because 2022, January, before I signed with PFL in 2022 and I debuted in August, but January before that, I went to Canada to fight on a show, and I got a picture with Cyborg because she was like the celebrity fighter that was there to watch all those girls fight. And I was like so happy to be able to get a photo with her, like, oh my God, Cris Cyborg, another amazing female in the sport. And then fast forward a couple of years, she's calling me out. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, I've only been in the sport like 20, 23, 24, 25, 3 years, and she's calling me out.
It's
like,
wild. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually I was honored to be called out by her, but I just didn't feel like it made that much sense right now.
But Cyborg, she fired back immediately on social media. I can make 135 for a super fight in the fall. I'm 40. My body carries much less muscle than it did when I struggled to make 140. I won't lose weight for my retirement fight. This is huge, people. Cyborg has never officially competed at bantamweight. Her lowest was 140 pounds, and those cuts were brutal. But now she's saying she'll make 135 for Dakota. That's only 10 pounds above flyweight. This fight could actually happen.
All right, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Protect yourself at all times.
Alright, let's look at the numbers. Cris Cyborg, current streak 6 wins in a row, championships, Strikeforce, Invicta, UFC, Bellator, PFL, the only quintuple champion in MMA history. Notable wins: Gina Carano, Holly Holm, Julia Budd, Larissa Pacheco.
Come on in.
Defensive.
We're ready.
So long and rangy.
Put away.
Oh, yeah.
Dakota Ditcheva, Irenzate, age 26 years old, turning 27 in July, record 15 wins, 0 losses, perfect, knockouts TKOs 12, that's 80%, first round finishes, 9, current streak 15 wins, her entire career, championships, 2024 PFL Flyweight Champion, 2023 PFL Europe Champion, notable wins, Taylor Santos, former UFC title challenger, Jaina Bishop.
Fighting out of the red corner. She's a Muay Thai specialist and stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. She weighed in officially at 126 pounds and holds a professional record of 5 victories and no defeats. Fighting out of Manchester, England, Dakota Ditcheva.
The stats are insane. Both fighters are devastating finishers. Both love to strike. Both have that killer instinct. But here's what stands out. Dakota is younger, faster, and has been mauling everyone at flyweight. Cyborg has the experience, the legendary status, and has fought literally everyone. Let's talk fighting styles, because this is where it gets really interesting.
And get you against the cage.
Oh, Dakota's right hand, hammer fist. Cris Cyborg makes the statement in round 1. Mamma mia! Cris Cyborg starches Sinead Kavanaugh for her 11th first round knockout.
Cyborg's style is pure aggression. They used to call her the Berserker because she would just walk forward and destroy people. When you watch Cyborg fight, you're watching someone who's mastered the art of breaking opponents mentally and physically. That intimidation factor, it's real. Fighters freeze when they're in there with her. What makes Dakota special is her fight IQ. She doesn't waste energy. She studies her opponents, finds the opening, and boom, fight over.
2024 PFL season, Dakota Ditcheva still undefeated in the blue. Taylor Santos, a one-time UFC title challenger, in the black. Just moves forward. Oh, first kick to the face. Ditcheva showing off all the weapons. And she has Taylor Santos hurt deep for sure. Santos is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Ditcheva to the body again.
Look at what she did to Taylor Santos, a fighter who gave Valentina Shevchenko a tough fight in the UFC. Dakota made her look like an amateur. finishing her in the second round with body punches. Santos had never been finished before Dakota. Here's where I think Cyborg has a massive advantage: experience. Cyborg has been in there with killers. She's fought in the biggest moments on the biggest stages for nearly 20 years. Dakota, she's been a pro for less than 4 years. Yes, she's undefeated. Yes, she looked absolutely dominant, but she hasn't faced someone with Cyborg's level of experience, championship pedigree, and mental warfare. That being said, Dakota's performance against Taila Santos showed she's not intimidated by big names or big moments. She's a Manchester City fan. She thrives under pressure.
Lucia! Silent killer! Sabova!
On the side. Ned's it. Hit. Bad intentions.
She has a professional record of 9 fights, 9 wins, 7 finishes, representing Nedora Cup Team Progressus and fighting out of Slovakia. #1 contender, Bantamweight Octagon MMA, Lucia! Silent Killer! Sabova!
She looks like she belongs on a runway in Paris. Beautiful, elegant, refined. But step into the cage with her. You're not facing a model. You're facing a predator.
You shoot star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by like Lady Gaga. I'm gonna go.
They call her the Silent Killer. And that nickname, it's not about her looks. It's not about her demeanor. It's about what she does to you when that cage door locks.
24 PFL season, Dakota Ditcheva still undefeated in the blue. Taila Santos, the one-time UFC title challenger in the black. Thus moves forward. Oh, kick to the face. Ditcheva showing off all the weapons. And she has Taila Santos hurt deep for sure. Santos is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Ditcheva to the body again.
On one side, we have Dakota Dangerous Ditcheva, the most devastating knockout artist in women's MMA. 15 wins, 0 losses, 12 brutal knockout, the youngest PFL champion in history, the first British female MMA world champion, the woman who finished Taila Santos when nobody else could. But on the other side, we have a fighter who might be Dakota's worst nightmare.
Walking full. Tonight, Sabova looking for the finish. Now it is. Can she bring it?
Lucia Sabova, the Slovak Silent Killer, 10 wins, 0 losses, perfect record. But here's what makes her terrifying: 3 TKOs in the first round, 3 submissions in the first round, 1 submission in the second round, 30% knockout rate, 50% submission rate. While Dakota finishes 80% of her fights by knockout, but only 7% by submission, Lucia is a complete fighter who can finish you anywhere, anytime. Lucia Sabova, born December 23, 1997, in Bratislava, Slovakia. Look at her outside the cage. Stunning, composed. You'd never guess what she's capable of.
Bad intentions. Kick, knockout! Lucia Sabova! What a veteran! They were exchanging punches, punch for punch, hook for...
But the moment she steps between those ropes, the model disappears. The killer emerges. August 9, 2025, Octagon 74 in Prague. Lucia faces champion Cecilia Bolander for the bantamweight title. First round, 3 minutes and 11 seconds. Brutal elbows, devastating strikes. The referee stops it. New champion. That's the silent killer's signature. She doesn't waste time. She doesn't leave it to the judges. She finishes.
Bola som zápasnička, študentka. Mňa ten šport veľmi naplňal, ale mala som strašne taký vnútorný pocit, že už chcem to dieťa. Najprv som sa strašne zlakla, že či to zvládnem. Ten rozbeh po pôrode bol, zrážka s vlakom. Ten strach určite neodišiel. Pochybuje človek o tom, že dobre robím, že odchádzam od toho dieťaťa. Je extrémne náročné sa premôcť, ísť do toho gymu, vôbec vstať z postele. Vydržím to peklo a potom proste príde tá odmena.
Lucia, Sabova!
She trains at Hanuman Gym Prague. Her base, Muay Thai, razor-sharp striking, devastating kicks, precision elbows that cut you open. But she didn't stop there. She evolved. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, ground and pound. She became the complete package. She burst onto the scene, winning Octagon Challenge, a reality show where fighters compete for a professional contract. Since signing with Octagon MMA in 2020, she hasn't lost. Not once, not even close. All right, let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets scary for Dakota Ditcheva.
Come on in.
Offense.
We're ready.
So long and rangy.
Put away.
Dakota Ditcheva is one of the most feminine people ever. She's beautiful. She's a gorgeous woman. She looks like a model. It has nothing to do with men beating each other up. There's nothing to do with brutishness. It has to do with high-level problem solving with dire physical consequences. But the early days were interesting because, there was a lot of people disparaging women fighting, including Dana White. Yeah, some people get disturbed watching women get bloodied up. That's a big one for some folks. It feels different. Obviously, I'm a big fan of women fighting, but when I watch a big cut on a woman, it feels different. It's so hard for people to not get emotional when they get hit. It's a very bad way to react in a fight, to fight with emotions, because you expose yourself. You leave yourself open for counters. You miss your rhythm. You're not as deceptive. You're too obvious in your pattern, and so many times you get hit a lot more. Yeah, it's a big problem with fighters. The smart thing to do is to fight with correct technique and with a correct strategy.
Dakota has built her entire game on one thing: power, crushing, bone-breaking, fight-ending power. Those body shots, they're legendary. They've ended careers. They dropped Taylor Santos, a UFC veteran, in the second round. But that submission rate, 7%, one submission in 15 fights, one rear naked choke against Malin Hermansen back in 2023.
Okay, you got to get busy here. You got to show me something.
Oh, there we go. The old pin.
Good job from Lorenzo.
Look at the square.
Things have been.
She's got it.
The way the things have been. Second, don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one that's to say. I'm the master of my CEO.
So impressive.
Meanwhile, Lucia, 50% of her wins are submissions, 5 submissions in 10 fights. Let me say that again. Dakota, 7% submission win rate. Lucia, 50% submission win rate. That's not just a difference, that's a chasm. That's a completely different dimension of fighting. Watch how Dakota fights. She's a marauder. She comes forward like a Viking berserker with bad intentions. Look at this. Body punch, body punch, body punch. She's not headhunting. She's destroying your foundation. That's Dakota's superpower. She doesn't need submissions. She doesn't need takedowns. She just needs 4-ounce gloves and target practice on your ribs. But here's the weakness. What happens when the fight goes to the ground? What happens when someone doesn't try to stand and trade with her? Now watch Lucia. This is completely different. She's a problem that changes shape depending on what you bring to the cage. Here's why this matchup is terrifying for Dakota Ditcheva. Dakota's opponents have all tried to beat her at her game. Stand and trade. Survive the storm. Maybe steal a decision. Nobody's threatened her with submissions because they can't. They're not submission specialists. Lucia, 50% of her wins are submissions. 50%. The moment this fight hits the canvas, and in MMA, every fight eventually hits the canvas, Dakota is in uncharted waters. Has Dakota defended against a legit black belt level grappler? Has she escaped standing Americanas? Has she defended arm bars from someone who hunts them like a shark? We don't know, because she's never had to. Dakota's opponents come in with one game plan: don't get knocked out. That's it. That's the whole strategy. Survive Dakota's power and maybe steal a decision. Lucia doesn't fight like that. She brings problems, threatens submissions, force Dakota to defend positions she's not comfortable in, mix in takedowns, make Dakota worry about level changes, strike from range with kicks, don't let Dakota close distance easily, change levels, change tactics, change the entire fight. Dakota's used to being the aggressor, the hunter. What happens when she faces someone who hunts her? Lucia has been to the decision twice. She fought for 15 minutes. She's had to grind. She had to adjust when plan A didn't work. Dakota, only 2 decision wins in 15 fights. She usually ends it early. That's beautiful, until it isn't. What happens in deep waters? What happens in championship rounds when the adrenaline is gone and it's just will versus will? Lucia's been there. She's survived. She's adapted. So here it is. The question that's been building this entire video. Can Lucia Sabova beat Dakota Ditcheva? What do you think happens? Can Lucia's submission game crack the code? Or does Dakota's power prove unstoppable? Drop your predictions in the comments right now. And if you want to see this fight actually happen, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's make some noise until these two step into the cage together.